Hello, everybody. Today, I just wanted to check in with you real quick as far as how it's going with indirect object and direct object for grammar. Over the last couple of days, we did exercise 3 out of the book and this indirect objects worksheet, which is very similar. What we've been focusing on in class the last several days is identifying the action verb first and then drawing an arrow or just kind of following with your eyes all the way over to the direct object. And in order to find the indirect object, you really have to look for any nouns that are found within that space. Okay, so I'm going to use the indirect object worksheet as an example. And some of these, again, they do technically have an indirect, but others kind of don't. So I'm just going to walk you through how this looks. Okay, so for example, the very first one here, it says her husband gave her a diamond ring for their anniversary. The verb itself is gave, but you have to look at what is actually being given. What's being given is the ring. So the ring is the direct object. In this case, is diamond an indirect object? It actually isn't, because the word diamond in this case is an adjective, not a noun. So if you put gave, ring, and diamond, I could see the mistake on that, but that's actually kind of a tricky one. Number 2, the students showed their teacher the injured bird on the playground. Showed is the verb. What did they show? They showed the bird. The only noun in here that gets passed up is the word teacher, so that's why teacher is the indirect object. So it goes showed, bird, and then teacher is kind of left over. Number 3, I bought Tommy lunch last week. Bought, lunch, and then Tommy is the indirect object. So verb, direct object, lunch, Tommy is indirect. Number 4, the instructor gave the class their new assignment. Gave, assignment, and then class is the only leftover noun. Number 5, please give me the answer to the problem. Give, giving what though? Answer. Now, is me in this case a noun? I'll allow it, but me is actually a pronoun. Obviously, words like he and him and they are pronouns. But in this case, if you had give, answer, and me as the indirect, that's pretty good. Okay, number 6, I wish Jimmy luck in the contest. Wish, wishing luck. Jimmy's a proper noun, but Jimmy still counts as the indirect object. Number 7, the loud music gave me a headache. Gave, headache, and then we have me again, which I'll still count as an indirect object. My family gave the tornado victims money to help them rebuild. All right, this one's kind of interesting. Gave, money, and in this case, tornado is not an indirect object. It's an adjective of the word victims. So gave, money, and then victims is the indirect object. Number 9, Mrs. Weathers gave her principal a letter of resignation. Gave, letter. If you had letter of resignation, because it's kind of one phrase, that's fine too. But gave, letter, and then principal. If you thought her and principal were indirect, in this case, her is kind of a pronoun that's also an adjective, so it's a little too complicated because it's describing who's principal. But gave, letter, principal is kind of the base. Number 10, the clown made the children animal balloons. There's a lot going on here. So the clown made what? Well, the clown made the balloons. In this gap here, though, between made and balloons, you have the children animal balloons. Children is the only one that's used as a noun in this space. Animal is used to describe the balloons, so it's an adjective. Number 11, you must tell your sister the truth about her ring. Tell, telling what? Truth. Sister is the only noun that's left over, so it's indirect. Number 12, the witness told the jury the truth about the incident. Told, told what? Truth. And then jury is the only one that's left over, so jury is the indirect. 13, somebody made the bird a house. Made, house, and then bird is the indirect. And then we gave the hungry dog a bone. Gave, bone, and then dog is the indirect because that's the only noun that's left. 15, the puppy brought its mother the squeaky toy. This has got a lot going on. Brought, toy, and then mother is the indirect object. And last, 16, the officer gave the soldiers a lecture. Gave, lecture, soldier's the only noun left over, so it's indirect. Okay, so hopefully between exercise 3 and this indirect objects worksheet, you guys are kind of getting the flow of it. Not every sentence technically has an indirect object, but in the cases where you have a pretty basic verb pointing to a direct object with a noun that's left in that gap, that's where the indirect object is always found. Okay. Over the next couple days, we're going to continue kind of conversing about indirect objects. And here very soon, we're going to do kind of a creative writing piece that I'm going to incorporate some of the things we've been talking about. As far as an actual activity for today, as far as an assignment that needs to be turned in, there isn't anything official that needs to come my way unless you haven't finished exercise 3 or this indirect object worksheet, which a lot of you all already have turned that in to me. But I just wanted to kind of touch base and see if you all were getting the concept of it. Okay. So again, as always, I hope you all are staying safe. If there's any questions about anything going on with this or social studies, feel free to contact me. And then definitely we will talk to you soon. I want everybody out there to be well. All right. See you guys soon.